Hello, I'm Maura, your Suffolk County Superior Court Clerk Magistrate for Criminal Business, representing the City of Boston, the communities of Chelsea, Revere, and Winthrop. It's great to be with you on this beautiful spring but brisk day, but at least we're finally in spring, and for those in New England, hopefully we won't have any April Fool's jokes like we have in the past, where I think we had like about a foot of snow. So hopefully snow is in the past and you're all enjoying this wonderful season. Today we are going to be talking with a very nice young man who does great work with the Department of Public Health, Mass Department of Public Health, Jordan Cariza. Jordan is the Manager of Ethnic Media Engagement, Office of the Public Health and Communications Department. Jordan came to the Mass Department of Public Health to coordinate interpreter and translation services. Over time, he became involved in various aspects of health, education, and outreach. He is responsible for coordinating programs around their efforts pertaining to public information and campaigns and social media. Jordan, we want to welcome you here today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. And I know you have a degree from Northeastern.
That's right.
And I know you're originally from Argentina, which
That's
is a beautiful country, but a resident of Boston, and we're happy to have you here. And I know within your realm of public health, one of the biggest issues, and it's really amazing, I was doing a little bit of reading with some of the information you sent me, and it was talking about the obesity epidemic. And, you know, when you talk about preventable diseases, clearly here is one that is preventable. Not always easy, you know, all of us, I'm sure, you know, you think, oh, should I have this, should I not have that? And it is a struggle, but when I looked at the statistics of mortality, I was absolutely flabbergasted. I was just amazed. So why don't you talk a little bit about how you came to the Department of Public Health and why this particular focus of obesity is so important and what we can do about it.
Absolutely. It's a huge topic, and you have called it an epidemic. Many people have called it an epidemic, not only in Massachusetts, but all over the country. Obesity is a huge deal because a person who is obese has a much higher risk of having or developing a lot of diseases, chronic diseases. You know, diabetes, high blood pressure, certain types of cancer. There's a wide range of health issues that a person can have as a result of being obese. Massachusetts, you were talking about statistics. Massachusetts does still compare favorably to other states in its numbers of obese residents. Having said that, more than 50% of the adult population in Massachusetts, it's either overweight or obese. So that's
That's amazing. It really is.
That's a huge number.
And what are they contributing that to? I know when I was a little girl growing up, we had physical education, you know, during the school year, and it was really rare that you'd see a young child that had a weight issue. But now, I think if you look among the population of young people, sadly, many of them already are struggling, and you know, maybe tell us a little bit about what's causing this.
That's true. It's a really hard issue to explain. It can be attributed to so many factors, mainly lifestyle. Some people say that there is genetic predisposition. Some people do say that certain underlying diseases or conditions may make you more prone to being overweight or obese. What most scientists and doctors agree is that we're not eating as well as we should be eating, perhaps eating too much of the foods that we shouldn't be eating, like greasy foods, high sugar content foods, and we're not moving enough. When we talk about children, you said, you know, physical activity is a big deal. Kids in schools don't normally have any more physical education classes. You come home, you sit in front of the television, you watch television, or the computer, video games, that sort of thing. So while there are a wide range of factors that may contribute for a child or an adult to be overweight or obese, the one thing that most or all scientists, I should say, do agree is that we're eating more and moving less than we should.
And also, you know what I noticed with this information you provided us, is that it's very troubling as far as some of the different ethnic populations, and disproportionately blacks and Latinos actually seem to have an even bigger problem than Caucasians. And you know, it's so scary to think of that, and I don't know if that's genetic. I don't know if it's cultural, maybe with different foods that different cultures have. Maybe all of us, you know, every time you drive by a fast food establishment, and I think all of us, including me, certainly are very guilty. You know, it's a temptation. It's quick. It's easy. And maybe the days of sitting down with your parents and having a meal with your families, you know, unfortunately is not as common as it has been in years gone by.
Again, you're right. This problem does affect minority populations differently, disproportionately, I should say. For high school students, some of the statistics say that 20% for Massachusetts high school students, 20% of the African American students are having this problem. 16% of the Hispanic students are having this problem, whereas the white kids in schools, Caucasian, are 9%. So it does definitely affect people of color or minority populations much more than it does others. Part of what the state is doing with this initiative called Mass in Motion, it's a big initiative, first announced by Governor Deval Patrick and Secretary Judy Ann Bigby earlier this year, is a list of several components, programs that are being developed, policies that are being made to tackle the issue of overweight and obesity from different fronts. One of them is giving grants to community leaders to do wellness initiatives at the local level. And I am mentioning this, tying it to the issue of how obesity disproportionately affects minority populations, because some of what people are thinking about doing with those funds at the community level is tailoring it to their needs. So perhaps bringing farmers markets closer to their communities. One of the issues we were talking about, fast food restaurants, is that people in communities of lesser income don't have as much access to safe playgrounds, safe places where they can go out and feel safe and walk or ride their bicycles. They don't have enough supermarkets closer to their homes where they can walk to the supermarket and buy
those
healthier
fresh
foods.
fruits and vegetables.
Exactly. So these grants are being used, or thinking about being used, at the community level to do things that each community needs or local places need, rather than for the whole state to say, okay, this is what works for the entire state. So that's part of the initiative, and I think it ties nicely into what you were mentioning about fast food restaurants. Also, fast food tends to be less expensive than healthier foods and fruits and vegetables. It doesn't need to be, but it is.
Right. And you know, it's always so easy. And you know, now you see, to some extent, some of them are starting to offer hopefully more nutritious choices. And I don't know what kind of analysis, if any, the Department of Public Health or even the National Department of Health looking at that and saying they offer healthier choices, but are they really healthier? And then I saw Michelle Obama recently in the news talking about growing her own garden. And of course now it's you know, getting to be that time of year where people are out there working in their gardens. You might be able to kind of kill two birds with one stone, being out there, being physically active, and at the same time, you know, planting and learning. So, you know, I suppose there are a number of ways to approach this.
Absolutely.